Ms. Linjamanze, the same for you, but this time around, you know, they say, Jeffrey used an expression earlier, popular in legal parlance, you know, dismissed on technicalities. So it appears as if the case is closed, but are there other possible alternatives to handling this, you know, besides the fact that, oh, she breached the rule books by signing the petition herself?
Okay, so it's important to understand the amount of power play around the National Assembly. I think that is one thing that is very undertoned. And now, critical issues have come up. What safeguarding policies or practices are in place in the National Assembly? Before now, I think it was very disheartening to hear things like, it was very disheartening to hear things like, when you're a senator, you cannot be exposed to any kind of sexual harassment. This has brought up a different kind of dynamic to all of this. And with safeguarding, everybody is intended to be protected from all harm or possible damage. Everyone, including senators. Now, the essence of having safeguarding policies in place is it helps us to appreciate the power dynamics at play. It helps us to preempt possible instances in which anybody could need protection. In this case now, we have a serving senator alleging different things. And whether it's bullying or sexual harassment, which is part of the bullying, it is important to understand that sexual harassment happens in different ways. It could be verbal, it could be physical, it could be whatever. But if the inappropriateness of whatever action, you know, she is bringing to the fore is something that is very important. Now, what are my concerns about all of this by and large? A lot of activities have gone on in the National Assembly unchecked over a period of time, and it seems to make it okay. Now, there's a whole lot of, there's a lot about the dressing of women to the National Assembly. I have been at the National Assembly premises before, and somebody just walked up to me from behind and started pulling down on my dress. That is sexual harassment. So sexual harassment has been resident around the National Assembly for a long period of time. And now we have come to a place where, in actual sense, it's not those of us who visit the National Assembly that are complaining of the inappropriateness, you know, towards us as females, because different things affect different people. You know, things affect women differently from the way they affect men. And so if you're sensitive to that, you would think through in your sexual harassment policies, in your safeguarding policies, whether it is a different gender that is reporting a complaint, or it is a subordinate that is reporting, or a visitor to the scene that is reporting, you think about how these things play out. So what are the options? The ethics committee that we're talking about, who appointed the ethics committee chair? Is there a chance that there's not going to be loyalty display? These are the critical issues. Should an independent organization or independent team of experts not be overhearing these issues at play? You know, is there possibility that nobody is going to want to present her petition for her so as not to be against the principal powers of the Senate? These are critical issues that beg for, that raise concern in this moment. Let's remember that the journey of Senator Natasha is one thing that a lot of young girls hold strongly to. The journey of Senator Natasha getting to the Senate. And so if these issues that are coming up, a lot of women who would come to the Senate or who would ever be in any public place or who are in offices, whatever the kind of office it is, have experienced some form of sexual harassment, some form of it. So if it gets to this point, it dampens the morale of the general Nigerian girl child, the young woman. What is there to aspire to get to a place where power is supposed to be resident and is supposed to give you power, if when you, even with the power that you have, you know, if there's an infringement, so to say, on you, everything is skewed against you simply because you're female or you're expected to, you know, tuck it in like the mamas before, you know, had tucked it in. You know, a lot of questions are coming up right now. And the bane of it all is that you know, there isn't enough by way of safeguarding around the National Assembly, and that is something that critically needs to be looked at.
All right.
You know, we need increased representation so that more issues that affect feminine folk would come up and be easily, will be better considered for a saner Senate. That gap is critical and cannot be overlooked.
Mr. Jamanze, I think one of the most important things that must come out of this is that whatever happens, the substance of the case mustn't be thrown away, which has to do with the sexual harassment part. But I want you to give us a feeler of what you concluded or perceived or observed yesterday and the series of comments being made by both serving and past senators. A senator had empathized with the Senate president yesterday. A senator had alluded to the fact that it's in her character, more like a serial accuser. One had even gone on TV to more like, is she the only woman? More like she's lying. I wouldn't know that's what it meant. A senator has also said it's content creation. Another senator has said, people at that stage are above sexual harassment. It was difficult to process some of these things that were said by senators of the Federal Republic. What did you make out of all these comments? Because she said yesterday she felt like she's being attacked.
Well, the Senate is a reflection of the society in which we live. It's just like a police station. It's a reflection of society. A lot of views, a lot of positions are polarized against the female folk, and all of it is designed to force you into silence, to force you to disown your reality, whatever that reality is. I empathize with the National Assembly for not having good enough safeguarding policies. You know, whether it is safeguarding policies for the members of the, for the legislators, or safeguarding policies for staff in the place, or safeguarding policies for us visitors to the National Assembly. The role of the National Assembly needs to continually be respected, and the proper thing should be done. There needs to be proper safeguarding policies that recognize the different power dynamics at play. And I mean, it's a shame. From the comments of the senators already, we can tell that it's an unfair playing field for the woman. And so if these are the human beings that are going to take charge of whatever investigation there is, then it begs to call for how much, what chance she has at fairness. And in this matter, I think it's time to start thinking out of the Senate for possible justice for her. If, you know, for possible justice for her, we need to start thinking out of the Senate. You know, because we've even had people who've come up and infantilized her, called her a child, called her different things, amongst other things. Whatever it is now is, I mean, all the allegations that are coming left, right, and center is part of the power at play. But we don't need to lose the critical thing. Bullying has been brought up, and part of the bullying is sexual harassment that has come to play. And my question in this moment, as a safeguarding expert, is I want to know what are the procedures for safeguarding a senator of the National Assembly. Now, the safeguarding policies that I speak about are going to be beneficial to somebody like the Senate president in the event something is committed against the Senate president. So let's stop looking at safeguarding issues as if they're important only when women need them. They're important to men and they're important to women. They're important to ensure that we don't lose our humanity. Let's not get to a place where we're too busy trying to be senators and forget to be human. The importance of not losing humanity is because our constituents are the ones that are going to benefit from it. If you lose your humanity along the line, then chances that you lose touch with what your constituents want you to represent them with are higher. So every child who is in school today, every girl child who is experiencing some kind of molestation and is holding it in, is seriously watching to see what is going to come of this. We need safeguarding policies to protect even serving senators.